Nothing is better than fresh Washington-grown sweet corn. And wait till you see how we transform corn on the cob today. This here is what's for dinner. Fresh sweet corn, heirloom tomato, and chev salad with pan-seared halibut. And getting a taste right now in our little dining room are Bettina and Michelle. We're going to get their verdict in just a moment.
Walter Pisano is the executive chef of Tulio Restaurant here in Seattle. Created this wonderful dish for the heart of Washington with fresh, locally grown sweet corn. Thanks for joining us.
Sure.
And it's pretty corn, too.
Let's get at it.
Okay.
This looks just great.
Yeah, I think Kent will be good at this because he's a cornball.
Well, we have a little nice halibut here from the Northwest.
And that's kosher salt? Or
kosher salt.
Okay.
I used a little white salt because I didn't really want to. It's basically the same as the black, but it's just the color.
And you got the pan really hot. You started heating this a while ago.
Got the pan really hot while we were setting up here, and it's nice and hot. And now I'm going to put that halibut in there. We're going to get a beautiful, nice sear on the halibut. We're not going to put anything to make a crust on it, but it's going to get a nice crunchy sear. It'll be really wonderful.
So how long will you cook that, do you think?
That'll be anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes, depending on the thickness of the fillet.
Okay,
if it's towards the tail end, it's going to be a little less. We have some wonderful corn. I already blanched it a little bit.
how do you blanch it?
Okay, you get your water boiling.
Okay.
You put a pinch of salt in there and a pinch of sugar sometimes, depending on the sweetness of the corn.
Really? What does the sugar do?
It will bring out the sweetness a little bit if it's not quite sweet.
I like
so
sweet.
right now corn is around. It's here in Washington for the next 3 weeks, and so when we shuck it, I blanch it for like 5 to 7 minutes, and we're shucking it, and then you want to break it apart.
That looks so good. And the heart of Washington's own Fred Berman, he took me to a local farmer's market to see just how fresh that sweet corn can be. Nice ears, Fred. Talking about the corn, of course. Yours too.
Right, we've
Sweet
got nice ears of corn. This sweet corn right here at the farmer's market is as fresh as you're going to ever get it. You can see where the corn silk is just still fresh and moist. This corn is a super sweet variety. Now, sweet corn in general, when you pick it, the older varieties, the more traditional heirloom varieties, the sugars turn to starch very rapidly. So you want to have that water boiling and drop that in the water as soon as you harvest
right
it.
in my belly.
There you go. But these extra sweet, super sweet varieties actually stay sweet longer, but they don't have that intense corn flavor. But if you go to the farmer's market, you're going to be able to find lots of varieties, and it's the season.
I cannot wait to eat it. Come get in my belly.
So how do you pick it? You got the farmer's market, you're looking at all the corn. There's a trick to picking the best corn?
Well, yeah, to a certain extent, you have to go into the supermarket, and I always say get to be friendly with your produce person, wherever your local market is. You can get as friendly as you want. The friendlier you get, the sweeter the corn is, I bet.
The sweeter
Really?
the produce you might get.
No wonder you get better corn than I do, Natasha. All right.
Well, you have to take her with you.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway, you shuck it a little bit, and then you look at it, and you get nice plump kernels here.
And this little brown hangy thing is fine, because these always scare me away. I think.
Well, you know what? That's just dirt. That's part of the herb. So we're okay with that. But yeah, you want to look at these kernels and this kind of. A lot of times you smell it. I think it's really important to smell it. Here again, I get yelled at sometimes because I put the fruit too close to my nose, and then they say, that's not.
Yeah, and then I get lipstick on it, smelling it.
It's okay,
So you've taken the corn, you've shucked it, you've got some of that ready to go.
And then we're going to do it with these are some Brandywine heirloom tomatoes, but there's all different types of heirloom tomatoes right now around, and some locally produced, so it's great.
So you dice them or what?
Well, what I like to do is I like to slice them for a presentation. You can also substitute cherry tomatoes in this recipe.
Oh, and you cut its belly button out first.
Yeah, I cut the belly button, and they have these things called tomato sharks.
Tomato belly button,
So they have these sharks that you can actually scoop it out.
Oh, yeah, those little,
And the cherry tomatoes, would you just kind of slice them up
I would just cut them completely in half and then just toss them in
perfect, like a
salsa.
Snacks, those are so good.
So you have it's nice and juicy. It's nice and, it's a nice. Now the trick about cutting a tomato is a sharp knife. Now you can use a knife like this, or you can use a serrated knife. And I recommend
knife.
This is actually called a tomato knife.
I have one of those.
Yeah, and it's great, and it just goes right through it.
How do you sharpen those knives?
There is one side that you can actually sharpen. You can see it here; it's flat, and you can run that along a water stone or a ceramic steel. That's what I use on my knife. I think use any oil or anything.
And it cuts great.
And it cuts great. It just goes right through it. So you have these nice, juicy.
You don't smash it all over the table.
Exactly.
Like it.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is go ahead and put our salad together real quick.
Could you use this as a salsa even? I mean,
that's what I was thinking about with those cherry tomatoes.
Yeah.
You can make a salsa with it.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can, and then if you wanted to, you could add serrano pepper or jalapeno pepper and actually add some spice to it.
Yeah. Or if the mother-in-law's coming over, I'm teasing.
That's right.
I love you, mother-in-law Jan.
And then also we had some beautiful thyme. Smell that. It's just really nice. It's an herb we used a lot in French cooking, but I really like it. And you can grow it in your garden, and it's very durable during the winter.
How's my fish doing here? Am I good on this?
Let's see.
You're burning it, Kent.
I know.
Kidding.
I'm supposed to be keeping an eye on it. That was my duty.
Okay,
a little olive oil.
We're going to add a little bit more olive oil. And as you
yeah,
notice, I used a non-stick pan, too, which is going to make it a lot easier. And, you know, I just cook it really on one side to get a nice crust to it.
So
and then it kind of cooks through.
Does it make a difference if you use those little screens over it? You know what I'm talking about, to keep that oil from
No.
splattering?
You know
really?
what? You just have, basically, the trick to that is just cleaning up after
So we
yourself.
have just a few seconds left. How do we put the salad together here?
Okay, a little olive oil. Okay, we're going to do a little, I use aged balsamic. The recipe calls for an herb vinegar or aged balsamic.
You need some of that?
A little white pepper.
Ooh.
And that was the sugar that I actually put into the...
Yum.
And then the salt. And here again, you know, it's all a feel for your fingers. Put it in there.
I'm glad you're in control of the ingredients.
And then we're going to mix it up.
Now, is that some sort of feta, or what is that you got coming on top of
What
that?
I
after
have
you
here
put
is
the
some
tomatoes in?
fresh goat cheese.
Oh, man.
So, you know, that's one of the things that I think goes really well with the tomatoes and the corn. It just works really well.
What kind of wine would you serve with this? I mean, once this is all done?
A Pinot Grigio or probably a Sauvignon Blanc.
Ooh, great Washington
good
Pinot.
drink.
And our taste testers, what do you think over there? Bettina, what do you think?
Well, your staff keeps telling me to slow down. I'm ready to inhale it. It's so good.
It looks
No,
delicious.
it's fabulous. The texture of the chèvre with the corn, that crunchiness, it's so good.
How about you, Michelle?
I like that it's very light. It fills you up, but in the summertime, you're always looking for fresh food, and I like the well balance here.
And it's healthy. You don't feel guilty with the corn. I love it.
You can go to our website, comotv.com, click on Northwest Afternoon for all of the great recipes. Walter, thank you.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
Thanks.